There's always a reason behind things. People aren't benevolent. They really are not. Nobody's benevolent in this world. There's always a self-serving reason. There's always a scientific reason. There's always a reason behind why people do what they do. It's just discovering the reason. And sometimes you may never discover the reason, or you will speculate because you don't know what feelings lurk in the heart of mankind. And so if you can piece together things that make sense to you, not everyone's going to understand it because not everybody is privy to the information you have, which is why people have faith, right? Because they're not privy to all the information. And so someone's telling them something that they know in their heart, and it could be anything, is true for them, then they don't have the proof, but they have the faith and they figure it out. And that's true for any religion. That's true for anything. So this is why you have to discover your own journey, your own path, because you will find your own answers. The answers are not out there. The answers are not out there. And I can't be any more clear than that, because all the answers that I've figured out are housed in here. And they do come to surface. They come to surface in lumps, bumps, rashes, sound. All the truth, all the facts of everything that you've ever experienced and suspect on so many levels will always come to surface on your body, in your mind, in your spirit. And then with all the memories, when you finally release all the junk memories, why do you call them junk memories? Because it's just stuff that you don't need to hold on to. Okay? Once you release all those junk memories, then you get to the root of where you're coming from. You finally get to the root of what you suspect. Because, like, when you read a paragraph, and there's so many extra words, okay? You finally isolate the subject and the predicate. You finally isolate the point and then the solution. And all those extra words in the middle, those are all just junk memories, extra shit to distract you from the actual point, the intention and the outcome. So that's what the whole J world is about, is releasing those demons to where you can get to the point of the intention of why you're alive and why you exist. And it's a global thing as well as individual. And then the outcome that you're in right now, was that somebody's intention? Was it, I mean, it could just be the fact that you just happened to be born because of this, this, and this, and demons were developed during that time. Because I'm going to tell you, demons, that comes from trauma. Like I said before, demons come from trauma, and it could be intentional demons. Someone purposely did trauma to you to get a specific outcome, and this is the result of it. Others, it could be just other types of demons just you happened upon because you get into a relationship and the person did you wrong and you held on to that demon for whatever reason, and then you hold that demon within, and that demon rears its ugly head whenever it gets triggered. And so you hear about that, people who are gun shy in relationships, or gun shy in so many different things. And so people hold on to demons, and they were either intentionally done to them because of someone's nefarious intentions, or they want to experiment, or it's something that you just happen to come upon because you weren't aware of how the world works. You learned the hard way, and instead of releasing those demons, people hold on to those demons, and those demons shape them, and it shapes their view of the world. And it also comes out in behaviors. And it's all in the psychology world. We know this because of Jungian psychology, Freud, I don't say Nietzsche, but Freud. All the different psychologists understand how demons run people, how demons are developed. And they've done countless experiments, okay? There have been so many experiments done on humans for centuries, like thousands and thousands of years. And they finally have it all together organized, whether in the DSM or any other booklet out there for professionals to go and diagnose someone, to go and do more experience to figure out how to conquer those demons or develop new demons to conquer those demons. And when you think about, when you say conquer those demons, develop new demons, that's like taking antibiotics for a drug. That's like taking a herb or an extract or any of those remedies out there, or getting surgeries or anything like that. How do you deal with people's demons and develop new demons to conquer those demons, to calm down the ones that are rearing their ugly head and replicating that quickly, that translates, manifests into a behavior, a belief system, even a religious ideology. And so, since I was raised Jewish and I was given a Jewish name of Lila, okay, we were all converted. My sister and I were both converted at a very young age. And there's a Jewish name, Lila. I Googled it. I looked it up a couple years ago. When I was in the born-again Christian world, I'm looking at like, oh my God, the woman of the night demon. Woman of the night, like Lilith. Like, I was supposed to be called Jilliith, or not really supposed to be. My mom wanted to call me Jilliith, but it's Jillian, right? And it's named after a Lilith, like Lilith. You know Lilith, like in Frasier Crane. Lilith. Bebe Neuwirth, the actress who played that, and she was this stiff, stoic, hair pulled back, totally tightly psychiatrist who had a very matter-of-fact, logical, almost robotic way about her, like completely unemotional, as opposed to her counterpart, Frasier Crane, who was a bit more enigmatic and was in the entertaining part of the psychiatry, which has made the show so popular because of that dichotomy, that juxtaposition between those two. I'm piecing it all together. And I'll say this, you know, when you suspect things, and I'll tell you, plausible deniability, anything can happen at whatever point in time. But humans are programmed, and you don't know when the programming started. It could have been like years and years ago, and then that translated into the offspring. Like, people don't know everything about their parents. They don't know everything about even their grandparents or their great-grandparents or even beyond that. And they don't even know what goes on in the hospital systems. They don't know what kind of stuff that's in the air, or it's in the medicines or anything. And so when you know that you can't control everything around you, and even if you put yourself in the hospital system, which they do all the time, and you're getting prenatal care and all that, you don't know what kind of genes and all these things are being influenced. And when you do get all the different therapies, I'm not even going to say the names, the therapies, they have also genetic material in it, which of course, but when you're around people, you're getting genetic material by breathing it in and your body assimilates. And then sometimes you get a direct shot of genetic material, and you can call it whatever you want, protection or whatever, poison, which nothing is poison. But you're also getting influence with genetic material from the hospital system, your community, your friends, your family, and it all shapes a person and then the experiences. So, and there are groups of people that absolutely have, like, there's so many scientists, especially in the Bay Area, like so many that come out of these different colleges, especially back in the 80s, 70s, 60s. That's why they had those mental insane asylums, because some of the experiments went crazy and haywire. But there were so many experiments done, and then they get released in the population, and of course everything is secret, right? So you don't know who's involved with what and when and why, and you don't know really too much. You can speculate, but unless you are in the inside or things come out and they get declassified, and then people find out later, oh shit, my parents are scientists. Well, I already knew that. But there was organized types of experiments going on, sanctioned by somebody with a secret budget somewhere. And then they're released out in the community and they integrate. And of course, the war back then was so easy. You get somebody traumatized from the war, anything that happens, if that could go haywire, you have a backup story. Oh yeah, she's from Vietnam, and the war made her this way and that way, and that's why she acts the way she does. And if a person doesn't know the ins and outs of something, they'll be like, okay, yeah, this kid's fucked up. She was in the war and all that. So you could hide behind that and do all your fucking experiments. Person acts erratic, acts a certain way, and that's the go-to plausible deniability, or not even that, because that would mean you'd have to accuse someone of something. that's the cover story. There are so many cover stories out there. That's what I'm saying. You don't know what's what. But when you are the one that is experiencing it, and you do uncover memories, and you do uncover things come to surface, when you realize what magic is, it's kinetic energy, and it comes out in growths, and it comes out in people, comes out in demons, it comes out in all the emotions, then you're like, oh shit. Oh shit. Now you see now, but again, if you were to accuse somebody, plausible deniability, and if society has been programmed to be like a Jessica Rabbit, and then the males who've been circumcised at birth having trauma done to their penis, and then there's girls being traumatized somewhere or shaped by the TV with cartoons, they're all sexual, and with all the advertising and the modeling and the fashion industry, and then of course the schoolyard. Now you're seeing the chemical reactions between boys and girls, and if some girls are even programmed even more to be a certain way, titillating the guys that have already been traumatized at the penis, now you see why people get pregnant at a very young age. But then you have society say, no, that's bad, that's wrong, you're programmed to be sexual and all this other stuff, and then they're told, you can't do that, that's bad. That's like, how do you balance out somebody's urges and not allow those urges to go insane? So then you have to put a roadblock, or somebody else saying, no, that's bad, that's wrong, you shouldn't do that. And then that is the balancing out of both worlds, but it does cause confusion and even angst and other types of issues and rebelling. And so you see how that can get out of control when you program someone to be one way and then tell them that who they are is not okay, who they are is horrible, who they are is like, the demon. Just like the Madonna whore syndrome. That's huge in the Catholic Church. They want them all to have babies, use protection, have a bunch of babies. So of course you have to be sexual. You have to play the game and do all this stuff, which is why you saw Madonna play that in Like a Virgin and any other of those her videos. So you have to be the whore before you become the Madonna. That is the arguments in our, like the little arguments that have gone out of control and then have caused, of course, then yes, Playboy and Larry Flint, the sexual revolution. And then there's the porn industry and prostitution, and then you get the rapists and you get the serial killers that are driven by those images and by trying to conquer a female. And then you get all those different sort of serial killers that are out there, that have been out there, that we've known about. And of course, war also shapes people. Okay? Wow. And so, why do I do what I'm doing? Well, I'm piecing together my own stuff, right? But when you find a solution that doesn't develop more demons, okay? So the J-World doesn't develop any more demons. That's why the Ohio Attorney General and everybody out there who was like, what the hell is going on? Is this antibiotic? Go prove this is probiotic, because they didn't know that salt was an antibiotic. Salt just calms down the demons, but you don't want to be cured because you don't want the demons to destroy you, and you need to release the demons. But the J-World doesn't develop more demons. The J-World brings up demons in people, and that is energy, that is behaviors, that is fear, that is anxiety, that is sadness. It brings up every single demon that you've held inside, that you've kept at bay with any kind of surgery or pill, powder, supplement, detox. And as those demons are coming to surface in all types of symptoms that are diagnosable, then they have to be released. And that exit process, just like when someone leaves a Facebook group, they're like, this group fucking sucks, blah, 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 and they're all boisterous about it. That's exactly what your demons are doing. They're yelling on their way out the door. People don't want to hear that. So that, and so we don't develop more demons. The J-World does not develop more demons. We, as people who understand where I'm coming from, are seeing the demons come up. And then we're told that, of course, people have been programmed that any kind of evolution where they're releasing their demons is a bad thing. They've been told that anytime your body's trying to release, whether it's physically, psychologically, intellectually, or whatever, it needs to be stopped. Like the system is actively not only stopping you from releasing your demons so you can become a balanced person, but the system is actively developing more demons to cannibalize you or drive you fucking crazy. Okay, so when you're taking a pill, powder supplement, detox, a prescription drug, anything in the food supply that is so aggressive, like spices, like turmeric and honey, apple cider vinegar, all that stuff, you are developing more demons in that process because you're stopping the body from releasing. But on top of that, then all that antibiotic stuff like honey and all that, then fornicate with things inside, start replicating those demons and that antibiotic and the demons inside of you that you're supposed to release, but you're not because you don't want to cough, sneeze, and blow your nose. Then they are metastasizing. They are replicating like crazy. And this is why people can't get ahead of their diseases. They can't get ahead of, or they have to go and get it surgically taken out. But that, again, develops another demon. That's trauma. And the body wants to come back again, and the person's like feeling the growth, and they don't want to feel it because it's painful. Then they take another antibiotic, right? A painkiller, an anti-mucus, an anti-cough, whatever, and then they develop yet another demon. And so I looking back at my childhood, and I remember everything. Just so you know, I remember basically everything that needs to be remembered. That has to do with my body, my mind, my spirit. Except for whatever happened as a baby. But I remember, as soon as I become conscious of memories, I remember basically almost everything. And certain things that kind of have questions about, like, should that have happened or whatever. And I'm not going to say it, but I will just say this. I was programmed. I fucking know it. I was programmed. And even by my behaviors as a kid, even my behaviors as a kid that was questionable to other people, they were like, what the fuck? Yeah. And when you notice, and now I'm 50 years old and I see the evidence. I've felt the evidence, and the evidence that was in places that were like, okay, has disappeared, but it's come up but in a different way, and it's at the surface of the skin, and it's finally leaving the body. So the demons are actually, the demons that were developed at some point in my life that probably ran the fuck out of me, probably ran me like all to hell, and ran me into where it came out in behaviors, it came out in feelings, it came out in all types of things, even your face, your hair, your skin, your nails, even who I've been, all the different attractions. And I'm straight, I'll just tell you that. I'm not attracted to females, I'm attracted to males. But it's like now that demon has finally left the body. I'm still attracted to my husband, absolutely. I was watching American Graffiti last night, and they showed the greasers and the whatever, and the split that happened even in the 50s, even in the 80s, and even today. My husband's like a greaser, fucking hot. So I still have my feelings for my husband. I still have those memories of attraction. I've always been attracted to greasers, even though I try to be attracted to all the intellectuals, but really I like the bad boys. My husband's not really a bad boy when you think about it, but he would be construed as a greaser in the 1950s. And so watching that last night, I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. But yeah, so if you're not in a sanctioned environment where that was done to you, whatever that was, then it's like plausible deniability. Kids get sent off to some boarding school, and then things happen to them. They get groomed in a certain way, and then they act out that in their childhood, and someone either takes advantage of it, or there's somebody that was put there to take advantage of them. You don't know, again, the chicken or the egg. Or people get into relationships because they were groomed in a certain way just by the TV. And the parents were groomed by somebody else before that. You don't know where everything started, chicken or the egg. And so then you see that carry on to every generation. And then we have kids are being trafficked. We have girls running away from home, boys running away from home, all this other stuff. So demons have been developed all over, and people are reacting to their demons, and they don't even know where it started. they do not even know where it started. And it could have happened, you know, way back in the 1950s. And it's somewhere in the genetic line, and it gets translated into the offspring who acts a certain way. That's why science and doctors and the hospital system and all the mental health people are always taking notes on what's going on with their patients. And you don't know what these notes are doing. You have hospital records, you have behavioral records. Somebody's analyzing all that data that's being inputted, being, you know, just, it's in a centralized system somewhere. And that's where you get all the different stats, of course, that come out. And so when you find a solution that doesn't develop more demons and can explain it, this is why I do what I do. I'm not trying to save the world, because not many people can release their demon demands or demons, or want to. I'm giving people awareness that there is a way to release their demons if they're willing to do the work. And it is work, and it is not over, and it will never be over in a world of diversity. Take on demons and release them, but to hold them hostage and harbor them for many centuries, you'll develop wars, and those wars will destroy you. Okay, so when you have cancer, disease, and chronic illness and autoimmune disorder, you have wars within that do get translated to the wars out there. And if you have babies on top of that, now you have a kid that will be at war with the world and will find every way possible to get what they want, even if it's not appropriate. And that's what we're kind of dealing with right now, is we're dealing with people's demons out there, not only their behaviors and their ideas and their activism, but also their children. Sorry to say, but that's kind of the way shit is going. That's why they're actively trying to control pregnancy and reproduction, because what kind of kid are you producing in this world that the system has to now deal with and figure out how to curb its emotions, its actions, because parents are not equipped to deal with this. They're not. But they don't know it. They want the American dream, right? The 1950s nuclear family. Well, that dream is over now. Reality setting in. And so chaos equals organic. And so when someone's like, oh yeah, I want something organic. You know what organic is? When you get all those elements that are all over space floating around. You have everything on the periodic tables all out there scattered. That's organic. And so when you have those in the holistic world promoting organic, they're promoting chaos, because then look, again, everything's in plain sight. All the organic vegan and vegetarians who are all into the pills, powders, and supplements and detoxes, they are not only aging out, but they're also keeping their own demons at bay using all their different concoctions, and they are deteriorating. Same thing, aging out, deteriorating. But that's the thing, all the organic people, that was also probably heavily programmed in the 1960s with all the communes, and then all the tantric sects, and then the organic and the gurus, and then all the yogas and the workout routines and all the different drugs. I mean, I'll tell you, the 1960s, there was so much that came out of that, which then programmed 70s, 80s, 90s, and even what you see today. And you see it all over Facebook. You see how many people are with that. That's why I posted that reel, those reels about, let me see, those reels with those shamans and gurus and doing drum circles. Remember, I've always said stuff about drum circles. What the fuck is all these drum circles? People doing all this stuff. Let me see. Oh yeah, here we go. Wait. Oh, here we go. Reels. I've done so many. Oh yeah, the medicine one. This is what the medicine cabinet is supposed to look like. Watch that reel. Because it's showing you the juxtaposition. What kind of music did I put to that? Oh, white lines. Yeah. I put white lines as addiction because, yeah, the medicinal world, all the herbs and extracts and the detoxes and all that shit, and all the organic, you know, hoity-toity, flighty stuff, no different than the plants are used in pharmaceuticals that make up all the prescription drugs. all the elements, the heavy metals. They're like, oh, I gotta do a heavy metal detox, and they're taking heavy metals to detox heavy metals. And you're like, okay, whatever. But I posted that because I see people still in the holistic world, and I don't say anything on their Facebook. They know it. I see them come through and they look at my shit, and that's okay. But it's like, I take that, I'm like, dude, do you not know that those things in those jars full of all the different herbs and extracts and powders and pills and everything are no different? It's the chaos of the genetically modified, the prescription drugs. Organic is chaos. The prescription drugs are organized, but what is your intention? Okay, that's the thing that people don't understand, because they don't understand elements. They don't understand chemistry, biochemistry. They don't understand programming. Okay, and so that's what the holistic world figured out in the 1960s, was how do you just then say, okay, we'll do a split. Here's the pharmaceutical lab, and we have all of our different instruments, and everything is sterile with a lab coat, the doctors and all that. And they're doing experiments and using instruments and machines to do the mixing and do all this, and flasks and different colors and all that. And then you have this shamany, flighty, organic, looking like she's some 1960s hippie, free-flowing outfits. It's all, filmy and lacy and garby and all. And she's like, here, I have a homeopathic remedy. And they're putting together tinctures and all that stuff. And then they have a big cabinet full of all these different, like mushrooms and toad parts and like alchemy, basically. And then you have all the leaves and the flowers and the tree bark, the dandelions, and other St. John's wort or warts. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a freaking alchemist. I'm not an herbalist, and I don't want to be. But you see all the herbs. And they, of course, are growing herbs in their garden. So then it's all organic. Oh, come to my garden. It's so organic. And look at my herb garden. It's not just for like kind of sprinkling on your food to feed you and make you feel, like you're growing and all that stuff. And no, it's like all the herb gardens are for all their medicines. And then you have the movies that reinforce that. Oh, look, here's a hippie woman, hippie girl, hippie chick. Granola chicks, granola moms, granola dads, granola whatever. And they're wearing their hippie clothes and all of the rainbow shit. And they're here, try this, have this. Here's this strain of pot. Here's this strain of this. I mean, and there's a huge market. It's all the MLM shit. Okay, that's the same thing as the freaking pharmaceuticals, but in a chaotic, organic form. But you see what happens with chaos. They end up dead in the morgue because all of those herbs and extracts and detoxes cause chaos in the body. That's why I did that reel, to show you what happens when you will rely on all those herbs and extracts and operations and detoxes and all the shamans, all the pretty women that were programmed to look beautiful, to sell you everything, to be the siren. I mean, it's not a coincidence that those that are selling those massage therapies and all their different sound therapies and touch therapies, and they're gorgeous women, because they were programmed to be that way, because they're playing with their chakras, bringing up hormones to give them that look, to hypnotize other females who may not have that same look, so they want it, or males who are hot to trot, they can't wait to go and procreate, even if it's just mind melding. Okay? That's the programming of our society. That's all the hypnotizing, using hormones and herbs and extracts. And then it's reinforced by the movies. And when you think heaven is all about having a bunch of kids, or not a bunch of kids, that's not heaven, really, when you think about it. You think heaven is about having a bunch of females, they're all scantily clad with big boobs. That's for some men, and for women, what's heaven to them is holding court with all their females, all bowing down in supplication, and having a bunch of dudes run after them. I remember even in first, second grade, there was girls there that were really hot in first, second grade, and the guys, when we were doing square dancing, they were fighting over some of the females, like literally fighting over them. It was crazy, not literally fighting, but yeah, I remember a chick, she was blonde hair, really tall, she wore short shorts. We weren't allowed to wear shorts in our house, but she wore short shorts, And you could probably, I would think she was groomed too, but I couldn't say that for sure. But yeah, all the guys were like fighting over her, kind of pulling on her arm to be a partner in square dancing. I remember that. Okay, so there's so much spell casting that happens at birth, happens throughout people's lifetime, and then they get conditioned to be a certain way. And of course, it's socially acceptable because everybody else wants to be that way or are that way and are trying to get people to be that way. It's all over fucking California. That's why I had to get the hell out of California. You throw a rock, you hit somebody who's been conditioned to hypnotize you and cause chaos, giving you a pill, powder supplement, detox, a cannabis, and telling you that you're stupid because you're trying to get through your evolution and you're not taking their medication. You're not taking all of their concoctions. You're not working your ass off till you bleed. Literally, that's what California's like. And then we have offspring. They're now vegan, vegetarian, who can't eat food. They have eating disorders and they have issues. And yeah, they'll go get married and all that stuff, and that's great. And hopefully they can handle the body releasing the demons. And when the body does release the demons and they're not eating food, they will release themselves because they can't handle releasing the demons. They don't have enough substance to their body. They weigh next to nothing. They weigh next to nothing. That was all programmed. And so the whole casting of the spells of moving on up, America, the old world, you have exhausted your body. Time to take a rest without dying. Redirect your energy. Now it's time to use your brain. And so, yeah, I mean, we're being given a chance to finally take back not only our humanity, but to release the demons. Some of you have demons so embedded in you that run you, that are giving you the gifts of energy, and you still have all your faculties. I even saw someone the other day that I said, okay, drink milk, drink cream, drink milk. Because yes, the jade juice is one area, but that's just releasing the demons. That's giving you clarity. That's reflecting back things that you're like, holy shit, like looking in a mirror. But now you have to build your body up and release those demons. You need the cream. You need the milk. Okay? That's what's going to save you. It's the food. The milk, not all the fucking cute vegetables that are all exotic looking with a few pieces of pasta. You need the fucking milk. You need the cream. That's why I posted that reel of Milk is Life. That's what's going to give back your humanity, release the demons, build you back up again. And yeah, it can be painful. People who are lactose intolerant have an issue with evolution, an issue with their body releasing because they've allowed it to be closed up by the medical holistic system, and all the little shamans are giving them pills, supplements, and detoxes and all that stuff. And so they have to now release those demons too. And they have to feel the mucus come up. Like when I'm blowing my nose a lot, because I can feel stuff, nothing hurts on my body, but I can see the lumps and bumps coming up in areas that I know, like, oh shit, okay. And I'm also blowing my nose. I'm blowing my nose. And that means I am releasing the demons. But I have opened up my body, my arteries and capillaries and my whole alimentary canal to release those demons. And so it's a process. That's why it's not, don't assume that you've released your demons. Let me tell you, there's so many, you have had people, generations, and people do demons to you, develop demons on you, and you've had generations of demons in your body just simply by being born because you took on your predecessor's demons. Okay? And demons is trauma. Demons is all the different antibiotics and the medicines and everything else. Okay? That has caused whatever angst, caused whatever weirdness, lack of symmetry, behaviors, you name it. And so it's going to be a long process. Don't ever think you're done. Don't ever think you're done. Because when you think you're done, it's not. Something else will come up because the frequencies will shift again. Because every single time the frequency shifts, something new came up. See, when something new comes up and you deal with it and release it, and then you're at relative equilibrium and the frequency kind of stays relatively equal, right? But then when it shifts again, then something else comes up. That's why people are able to perform in the summertime after spring allergies. They get over their allergies, they're on their medications, everything's great until the fall. Then there's cold and flu season. Instability. The frequency shifted. Now you have people releasing their demons. That's why all the V's, right? Because that's when people releasing the demons, you give them a synthetic antibody and everything is happy. During that cold season, sort of. With cold season, things break down, people are releasing demons. But then it warms up again, spring comes, and you get the spring allergies, and people get over that. And then the spring and the summer is when they work and they go on vacation. And it's just this constant loop of not only dying and reproducing, but the demons, at war with each other, and the demons at bay. Demons at war, demons at bay. It's, oh God. And then every medication attached to that, and every diagnosable condition attached to that. So first world, okay, America, the old world, you have exhausted your body. Time to take a breath without dying. Redirect your energy. Now it's time to use your brain. First world, you have a chance to save yourself. Those coming in and doing hard labor, they don't know, but you know. Let them be under the spell. Break the spell. Okay? First world, people in the J world, because most people outside the J world will not break the spell. They'll continue it. When someone else is manipulating the stock price and the perception, even the market, there is no guarantee the money train will be there and stay there consistently. So scale down your lifestyle belief systems and figure out how to just stock away cash for when things go crazy. Okay, you want to stay alive. Stop trying to move up in a society that has no intention to keep you humble. I'll tell you, as soon as you think you're going to get rich somewhere and your stock price is like going up and up and up, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm rich on paper, but it's not liquid. Someone's going to fucking short that shit, and then your stock price can go down, and you're like, shit, and then you have to go put money back in there again to help it raise up and go in. It's a whole fucking cycle that I'm done with. That was all the California sell, go to this job to that job, go be something, whatever the fuck that is. And just work until you fucking die and pass out. And if you don't, then people around you be like, oh, you're stupid. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're that. Oh, you're everything. Oh, that's why I left California. Okay, again, as you know. And so we're not in the 80s anymore, and money is not flowing freely. It's going to cost you money to get free money, which doesn't make sense. It's going to cost you money to have money come to you like that. It's going to cost you a lot. And when money is expensive, the making of it will also cost you, because then you'll have to work longer hours to make up the difference. You're going to have to do so many things to now make that money. That's why I won't bring in, I won't bring in more money than we need to, because my husband we could live on his salary comfortably, but if he wants all of his toys and all of his things, then you got to work for it. I don't want half the shit he wants. So I'm like, this is what I'm working for. I do my little Facebook lives. I help out with stuff. We're married. I make sure everything is okay on this end while he's out there making the dough. Just like the 1950s, man's out there working and she's taking care of the home on some level, cooking and kind of cleaning, and make sure that she advises him on certain things. And I definitely do. And I'm also developing myself, but I'm not going to trap us in the trappings of wealth where you have to then go get validated for having all these big things and nice things and parties and all this other shit. I'm not going there. I'm not trapping myself in that kind of lifestyle. That was the 80s. That was even the 90s and 2000s. And people are still trying to live that way. But again, it's taxing the fuck out of them. It's draining their life force living that way. I won't be like that. I will never be like that, because I know what happens. That's all a fallacy. That's all the spell that was put on us in 1776. Okay? And it then metastasized into something, it's even crazier with all the programming. The biological programming. And so figure it out, or you'll destroy yourself trying to keep up with something you have no control over. There's nowhere to go. Moving up in the world is a fantasy when all you're doing is using up more resources. There's nowhere to go, because the more you take, the more you spend, so you're not going anywhere. You're just lining the pockets of somebody else selling you a dream. Now, some people will still live out that, and that's fine. Okay? Others are realizing, as our body is breaking down, that they don't have much time. And if they're going to give their whole lifeblood to a company and they don't have much time, can they take an early retirement and recoup the resources and go through that process and save themselves? Are they prepared? But if not, if you're not prepared to go through that pain of that whole process, whatever it is, then you'll die in a company. But what if you had a chance? What if somebody gave you permission, some stranger on Facebook gave you permission just to take a breather? What if somebody did? Would you do it? That's all I'm offering, is that you have now, you've made it. All of you have made it. If you're in America and you have a house, you have a car, you have people that respect you on some level, you haven't broken the law so much where you have so many warrants of people coming after you, okay? You've made it. There is nothing else to prove anymore. And even if you don't have a house and a car or whatever, but you have, if you're renting, okay, you still made it. You could still make your rent, cut down your hours and redirect your energy, or keep the same hours but redirect your currency energy. Find a way to stash some cash and do less hours, and find a way to finally deal with your demons. And sometimes, but then what is it? What will the demons turn into? Could you not be able to see, walk, or hear, or for a certain amount of time? Who knows? That's when you have to figure out what. So sometimes it's not good for people to be uncured, because then those demons, those curses, until they're developing themselves and have somebody around them to help them develop themselves, or to help them do that. Sometimes it just depends. What's in your genetic line? Can you handle the things that could come up? That's what people are finding out. And so it's like you have to really look at if it's worth it to you. But some people, it is worth it to them. They don't have, like I didn't have that I knew of. Here's the thing. I didn't have any issues with eyesight. I didn't have any major heart issues, but even then you can still overcome all that. I didn't have any hearing issues. I didn't have any, like I said, eyesight issue or hearing issues. I didn't have any walking issues. I wasn't paraplegic or quadriplegic. And though when I was sick with that mycoplasma a couple of years ago, about a year ago, and I could barely walk. I mean, that's probably when I was a baby, when I could barely walk. They thought I was autistic because I was so malnourished. So that's the thing. So you have to figure out what's in your genetic line, what kind of cures you have been taking for what. And so if you're taking these magical stem cell cures of helping you walk, and you're taking that and then you want to get off of that, then you're not going to walk for however long until you take in the milk and the meat and everything, all that, and you release the demons. And someone's there to make sure that your basics are going to be there and you're going to be okay during that process. So that's why in a lot of the system is bringing in people who are really at a deficit and then giving them the magic cures, because you can't afford to get off the cures unless you start over again. And so you don't want to be starting out in the medical system, given all these cures, starting out with nothing, like not be able to walk and do things. And then someone says, oh, now you can walk, here, abracadabra, here's a magical stem cell transplant. Now you can walk, and here's a magical Rife machine. Here, we'll manipulate your neurons in your back so you can walk again. Because as soon as you depend upon someone giving you the opportunity to walk with all of their pills, supplements, and detoxes and prescription drugs, then when you want to get your life back and release those demons, you have to go back to where you were before and then start over again the right way with the food. And that's what people have to figure out, if that's worth it to them. Okay? And so this is for people who are relatively strong, like me, relatively strong. Okay, so there's nowhere to go. Moving up in this world is a fantasy when all you're doing is using up more resources. There's nowhere to go, because the more you make, the more you spend, so you're not going anywhere. You're just lining the pockets of somebody else selling you a dream. That was the spell put on you at birth. I mean, I'm so happy my husband is so fucking strong. I'm so happy. And I'm glad that he did the J juice for a minute, and then he drinks milk. And I tell him, don't take any more NyQuil if you can. Just stay away from the medicines. And so he'll do what he does. He'll do what he does. So all you did was convert cash into objects like baubles, and you can't eat it. Status is a curse. Status is a spell. If that is your goal, you can't take it with you if you assume you will die someday. Did you really have fun making it? Because if you don't live long enough to enjoy it, then all you did was make it, converting your energy into material goods, lining somebody else's pocket, or giving your energy away to some company that is already destroying people. Let's say, like the medical system. if you believe you should die someday, then all you're doing is throwing your money and your energy and your time into a black hole. Okay? So you didn't make it for yourself. You just thought you did because the curse of King Midas was bestowed upon you. Chasing dreams, chasing wealth, chasing material goods and baubles and an image. That was the spell of Sleeping Beauty. You didn't make it for yourself when you think about it because you expected to pass away someday. And when you don't control your own body, mind, and spirit, somebody else will control when you get to enjoy the money you made for them. And you may never get to enjoy what you made for somebody else. People who go on, who retire and they get on Social Security and then they're maybe a year or not even less than a year and they die right before they're really able to enjoy their life. That was all by design. And in this environment, it'll happen faster. And it's okay to slow down and smell the flowers. Those who you are trying to keep up with, they don't have much longer. They're sucking you dry. So be careful following people who are all about image, who are all about just doing everything until you die and pass away and everything else. I don't want to follow people who believe they should die someday because their whole lifestyle will be all about how having fun on the way out the door. Even if it means that you die a violent death, whatever it is. You don't want that. But I mean, I can't tell you what you want. But I let me tell you, I want people to, I want to follow people, which is not many, who want to live, who are willing to face their demons. And it's not many. There's a few that I do appreciate and I do try to follow on some level. I don't really know the outcome. I don't know what lurks in the hearts of everybody out there. But when you think about it, there isn't many role models out there about longevity. There isn't. There's all those demons that are trying to sell you, the shamans and all the gurus selling you another fucking demon, but there really isn't anyone that's willing to face it out there. I have not seen anyone in Hollywood, anyone in politics or religion that's all about facing demons. They're all about developing more demons or accusing people of being demons. And but they don't look at themselves, that they may be the demon themselves. Okay? So there's nobody in the politics, religion, or science world that I look at as a role model at all when you think about it. So I look to myself, which is okay. That's what I told you guys, that's what you really do. You can't look at out there as the answer. There's no answer out there. You just look at people, watch people, and you take what you can from them, and you leave the rest, and say what you got to say, and without going personal. And people think it's about them. Well, remember, they're clones. There's so many clones out there. You know how many clones are out there? You think I'm talking about you? Yeah, you and everyone behind you that does the same fucking thing that you do. Okay? So don't take me personally. Just realize that I'm talking about everybody, because there's so many clones out there. It's okay to slow down and smell the flowers. Those who you are trying to keep up with don't have much longer. They're sucking you dry, and you are being sucked dry. What people do is they destroy themselves trying to keep up with an image. Nobody cares if you have the best of everything. Only you care. You might have been successful for yourself, or so you think, but did you really do it for yourself, or was it for other people? Or did you do it to get validation, making people jealous of your so-called success? How do you define success? It's different for everybody. If you define success as material wealth, the spell has not been broken. For every dollar you make, more than half is going to somebody else. And then you can't even eat that. What was it all for? Because remember, people are having to deal with diseases and cancers and all that shit, so they're not eating. They're on fucking diets. So yeah, they're making money for somebody else to go line their pockets and feed them, and as they're starving themselves. But hey, here, look at this vase, look at this. Oh God. So let the new people come in to this world. Let them work hard and relax, America. You've done your part. Don't destroy yourself working for something that you know is a fallacy, a dream, a fantasy. Okay? And if you can afford all the baubles, fine. But make sure you feed yourself. And if you're buying baubles and you have cancer, disease, and chronic illness, and you're on diets, you're giving your money away to people. When you're actively on diets with cancer, disease, and chronic illness and autoimmune disorders, and you're working your ass off, you are sacrificing yourself. You are giving yourself away, and you're starving yourself in the process. Because you can't eat anything, really. You don't have the ability to convert that into something that gives you longevity. That's the spell. Oh yeah, I have my cancer, disease, and chronic illness and autoimmune disorders, but I'm still gonna work my ass off. I'll be on drugs. I'll take out even organs just so I can go to this job. Yeah. And so that spell has not been broken. For every dollar you make, more than that half is going to somebody else. And you can't even eat it. What was it all for? To push society forward, but at some point, save yourself, relax. Let the new people come in, like the immigrants, the new Ellis Island, come into this world and let them work hard and relax, America. You've done your part. Don't destroy yourself working for something that you know is a fallacy, a dream, a fantasy. Let the new people from the south, east, north, and west come in and fill your shoes, and you relax and take a breather and sit on the water and just enjoy that you're fucking alive. Lobsters die from exhaustion. Don't become a lobster. You've been running so hard. America needs new blood to do the really hard work because you need a rest. That's the American dream. You already put in the time. Take the time for yourself. Give someone a chance to fill your shoes and give you a rest. Once you wake up, you will save yourself. Let some other poor soul work themselves to DEATH. Open the borders and relax, Americans. You deserve it. And when you realize you don't need that much to exist and thrive, you don't have to destroy yourself keeping up with the guy next door. You deserve to live without the pressure of somebody cracking the whip. If you are barely making it because of financial issues, from health issues and other drama in your life, time to really reassess where you put your energy. And I said, do lobsters die from exhaustion? They absolutely do. Okay? And so what do people know and when do they know it? This is about accusations, about anything. Who told you? Who told them? This is about even your politics, your religion, and your science. Okay, so what do people know and when do they know it? Who told you? Who told them? Who told who? And what was their incentive telling you? What were you being manipulated? And are you the manipulator? You will never know. Plausible deniability. People don't ask the questions. They just believe blindly on repeat until their body, mind, and spirit programming breaks down or shuts off. And so this is just for everybody in the religious world with all the different old texts and new texts and all that stuff. People don't ask questions. They just believe blindly or on repeat until their body, mind, spirit programming breaks down or shuts off. And so just because you're reading something that says it's an old text, okay, even if it's an old text, who cares? Oh, but that means that it's like from the originator, the person that made us, our maker. Can you prove it? Okay. I guess if you think that you know, proof is, again, like, it's all relative to what you want to believe. Okay, like I said, can I prove that Jilliith juice in the whole world, Jilliith milk, is immortal? Well, again, what do people know and when do they know it? Who told you? Who told them? Who told who and what was their incentive telling you about the Bible? What was their incentive telling you about all the different storylines that have you then destroy yourself and the people around you with starvation and detoxes and herbs and all that? Were you being manipulated? Okay? Who told you about the BIBLE? And are you the manipulator? Are you now taking on what people did to you and manipulating you into repeating the same thing over and over again? You will never know. Because even if somebody told you, who told them? And if they told you who told them, can you believe it? Do you even know? Can you prove it? You can't. So then you're on faith, right? Then you got to look to yourself. Well, why are you preaching anything? Why are you making accusations? Why are you thinking that your way is the only way? Your religion is the only religion. Your scientific dogma is the only scientific dogma. Your belief system is the only belief system. What makes you the expert on everybody else? What makes you? Then you have been manipulated into thinking that you know better than everybody else. And then that develops more demons. No one's releasing the demons. You just developed another demon. Another person to pound the freaking gavel about anything. So if you do not know every single factor, action, reaction, what people knew and when they knew it, and understand every biophysical component, someone's comings and goings, You cannot make absolute accusations or even absolutes on that your religion is the best religion, or even that it's even something that people should convert to or even stay in. How can you make that assertion? But people have to decide for themselves. Well, Jillian, you're doing the same thing. You're creating awareness, developing awareness, giving people choices. Maybe you're developing demons, Jillian. Milk is not a demon. Food is not demons. Food is just food. You need it to survive. You have to release the demons that are running you, that's causing the aging process, causing the deterioration, the cancer. Some people in the religious world go to these hospitals and they get operations all the time. Was that something that was God-given? Wait, God gave you all those parts of your body, right? Allegedly, God gave you everything that you have, and you go into the medical system and you get them surgically taken out? Was that condoned by your God? By your maker? Is to go get things cut out of your body? You think he wanted you to do trauma to yourself and to your children, to everyone around you, and condone that? Do you think your God wanted you to starve yourself? Take away food from your kids? From yourself? Yep. That's what I'm saying. That's why there's a great reset. But watch people make absolute accusations with absolute belief systems, with absolute fixed lifestyles. Good luck with that. And so Americans were bred to go to war because that was the innovation. Your politics, your religion, your science, even chasing money, wealth, fame, and power, it's all about war. Time to relax. Let the younger people who think they can handle the war figure it out. In this environment, not only are you fighting whatever enemy you have developed, but the environment is working against you as well. Some people keep on fighting, and we thank you for your service. Peace. My husband's a fighter. Not literally like he goes out and causes violence, but he fights for money. He fights for, keeping his world relatively balanced with the things that he knows, like fishing and all that stuff. And that's fine. Okay? If he can handle it and he gets rewarded for it and he likes it, I'm not getting in the way of that. I've fought so many wars the last 49 years. I'm going to be 50 next year. I mean, I'm still fighting wars on some level, but this is the war that I've chosen that I know I can win. I fought wars where I was never going to fucking win, ever. But I fought the war because I didn't know any better. Now I know better, and I won't put myself in a war that I know I can't win. Okay? And so the last 7 years was finally, I lobbed the first grenade with the whole J world. The grenades were returned excessively. I took them on, and I figured out how to win that war. And the war is not trying to convert everybody. The war is finally explaining and articulating and proving that you lived, that you were given only one way of doing things, that physics has so many truths to it. And the proof is in the words, because you can see in the English language, there's so many different contexts under one word. And they are ever developing. New words are being developed as we speak. New contexts are being developed as we speak. If Trump wasn't born, we wouldn't have the word Trump card. We wouldn't have the word she trumped him. But the word Trump came out of the 1980s. Did they have the word Trump 6,000 years ago? No, because he wasn't born 6,000 years ago. But somehow Trump made its way into the dictionary. Why is that? Because it's evolution. Okay, so I prove that your way isn't the only way. Your narrow-minded thought process isn't the only way. Your intolerance is why we're in a great reset. People don't evolve. And I explain creationism. I explain evolution. I understand all the religions. I get all the politics. I get all the science stuff. I get even the physics, the chemistry, the biochemistry, the allegory, the English language. I get it all. And I understand also kinetic energy and physics. Well, I said that before. MK Ultra, all the Illuminati, all the conspiracy world. I went down rabbit hole after rabbit hole after rabbit hole. I've studied so much, even before all this, I have so many student loans that eventually they will get paid on some level. And I've put myself in so many different companies, mixed with so many different people. I put myself out there, walked into homogenized groups and upset the homeostasis, and yeah. Okay, I've fought so many fucking wars. Now this is a war, the war of the J world is saying that I'm not trying to develop any more wars. I'm trying to release the demons. I'm trying to release the wars that are in your body. I'm done fighting. I've been fighting. And so why do I explain myself the way I've been? I will not let anyone in my past, present, or in my future mischaracterize me, because I'll tell you, this whole thing with me acting out as a kid, and I remember somebody when I was in the military, and they knew sort of my past a little bit. Maybe they did, yeah. And somebody told me, well, if I was somebody, I wouldn't want somebody that was troubled to allow them to live. I would have had them all eradicated. All the troubled people just be eradicated. I don't remember exactly the context of that conversation, but I remember to this day that when people don't understand why people act out, they think that they're disposable. They don't understand there is underlying reasons why people act out. Just they don't know what it is. And so instead of them finding out and doing the research, they just say that this person is disposable, that they wouldn't want to deal with that. That's the intolerance, that's the racism, that's the genocide of people who don't understand other people, and who will not ever find out what runs people, why they do what they do. Give them the opportunity. Do we have the resources to go and fix everybody in the prison system? Do we have the resources to fix everybody in the hospital system? They have to want to do it themselves. You can't convince people unless you give them the time. Do we have the resources to give people the time? The system doesn't have those resources. Okay? Because we've had a specific system put in place, which is every single time you have a pain, you go and cut it out, scoop it out, or develop another demon. And how do you completely turn that around 180 degrees? You can't. Well, you can slowly, but then you have to also allow that system to play itself out relative to the intention, and then have that slow overlap and allow people who are strong enough to turn their shit around, literally. And so I will not let anyone mischaracterize me, say, oh yeah, she was just a starving orphan who's troubled and she just keeps acting out her stuff and she's lazy and she uses her PMS as an excuse not to do this and that and da. Oh, I've seen it, I've heard it, I've seen it. Like, I see it in people's eyes back in California. I see it in their eyes. Oh, you're just a troubled person. Oh, you're just this. Oh, you're just that. There's always something going on with you. And there probably was. And so why do I explain myself the way I have been? I will not let anyone in my past, present, or in my future mischaracterize me. F you for thinking that way about me. F you for thinking there are disposable children out there. That was for that guy in the military that knew about maybe a little bit about what was going on in my world. And he said that shit to my face. Skinny dude, too. I remember him. F you for being intolerant. Because humans not only want what they were, do only what they were taught. And then when they don't like to jail, they don't like to jail. They don't like the jail they're in. They try to break free. And they do something about it. So I've been trying to break free from that jail. And that's why all the running away shit. Because I'm trying to break free from a jail that was in me. The demon was in me. Fuck. You can't run away from it. You have to release that demon. You can't run away from that demon. It's in you. That's what people have to understand. F you for forcing people back into the bottle. But if people are only doing what they were told to do and what they were taught to do, why are you so mad, Jillian? Because they will read this and maybe sort of understand this, but they will never change. And they will still think life is disposable and that is their right. So I'm just preempting all my energy to get it out and then finally resign myself to the notion that we are in a great reset and I can't save anyone. Okay? But I will not let anyone mischaracterize me. So have a great day. And so then I put forgiveness equals implied that somebody did something wrong to you. Maybe they didn't. And you could say, well, was the programming of you, was that wrong? That caused you to have so much stress and so much of this and so much of that. Here's the thing, what is right, what is wrong? When you're in a society that has plus and minus, positive and negative, you're going to have your positives, you have your negatives, you're going to have your chemical reactions. produce an offspring of a new idea. That's advancement. How those positives and negatives come together, literally and figuratively, I don't know. Okay, but when you have a society, a collective that is trying to advance society so they don't all out extinct each other, again, of course, like wars, collateral damage, and hopefully there's some kind of innovation that comes out of all of that craziness. And here's the thing, if I never discovered the J world, and use that as like, okay, I can't really get mad at anyone, then I would just be another person blaming their parents, blaming society, blaming whatever on why I didn't have what I have or why I couldn't get where I wanted to get. Or people destroy themselves. They commit suicide, and then people are like, oh, thoughts and prayers, another person dealing with demons that they couldn't handle. And then people will be like, okay, that sucks. You know, I remember her, she was like this in high school or junior high and all this other stuff. And they'll be like, yeah, we saw this coming from a mile away. She was so crazy. Everyone will have their thing about it. And so either way, either I develop something amazing and move society forward and not let that shit get in the way, or I do myself in, can't handle all those memories and let people talk smack about me and say, yeah, we saw this coming from a mile away. We had her nailed. We had her pegged. We knew. We were just watching to see. Fuck you for that. So there you go. This is what it is. And was that intentional? Either way, you're going to either fold and give up and everybody talk smack about you, or you're going to freaking say, fuck you, everybody. I'm going to prove you all wrong. And I did. So there you go. Okay. So yeah, forgiveness is imply that somebody did something wrong to you. Maybe they didn't. You don't forgive people. You get the energy out that was in conflict and you move on. Don't assume because you don't get along with someone means that they did something wrong. They do anything wrong. They just do what they do. They do what they do. People do what they do, and they don't. It's like, okay. But it doesn't mean they're wrong or bad or anything. It means that it just doesn't work for you in your world, and you just need to move yourself away from that. And it might hurt them, but hey, shit, not everybody has the same energy or has the same intentions and the same path. Okay? And so you got to find ways to extricate yourself from things that don't work for you. And doesn't mean that you need to forgive anyone for anything or make them wrong. You just say, hey, I got to move on to this thing, but good luck to you. Hey, have a nice day. And extricating yourself, exiting a situation, when you haven't learned how to do that, it could be messy, but then when you learn how to do it, it doesn't have to be messy. But when you just learn how to exit from situations that are not good for you, they can be messy. But don't ever get yourself in a situation where it gets messy like that, because it's a lot to leave. It takes, and if people are depending upon you and they're all like, oh my God. But I had a habit of just upping and leaving, whether it's from a job or something else. It wasn't always in my favor, but what do you do if it's not working for you? Until you figure it out for yourself, you'll get your situations that are not working for you. And then how you leave is, you don't want to leave badly. But sometimes it has to happen because there's no other way around it. It'll be bad no matter what. So I hope you survive leaving. And so they were 100% right in their world with the information they had at the time. If it doesn't work for you, get it out and get out. Okay? If shit doesn't work for you, get the fuck out. Because move the fuck on, but you don't forgive people because that's self-righteous. That's religion. I remember in Landmark, they're saying, you should forgive people that did wrong to you. Forgive. Then you're saying that you were the one that was right. They were wrong. And so it was a lot of like, there was some double speak in that when you're saying that people are right in their world, 100% right. But then you say, oh, I want to forgive them. Now you want to forgive everyone that's done wrong to you. That even some people that were victims of their child being kidnapped was in one of the courses. And he couldn't get with what they were saying. He could not get with what they were saying. Because he couldn't forgive that guy that kidnapped his daughter and murdered her. And I understand you can't, because that was hard for him. But I don't want to forgive anyone. There's nothing to forgive. I don't want to forgive anyone. I just want to move on. I want to find people that I can align myself with, that we have simpatico, some kind of alignment that's not overstepping boundaries. And I don't want to be upset at anyone. I don't want to be harboring ill will towards anyone. That's just like a shitty way to live, and you have all that. And so there's no forgiveness. It's like, okay, we just don't get along. We don't have the same thoughts about the world. We don't have the same outlook. No big fucking deal. That happens all the time. That happens all the time. People evolve, they change, they move on. But you won't, but you never get really close to people. You really want to be unto yourself, because as soon as you get involved that much in someone's life, that's when the hooks come in. When you are dependent upon someone. See, my husband and I, now he'll be home a lot more often because he had a job change within his job. And so he'll be home more often. I can handle his demons. Okay? I know his demons for the most part. I can handle his demons because everybody has demons. But as soon as you bring in a lot more diversity into your world, and so many people with so many different demons, then you have not only the great parts of them that you enjoy, which is what brings you together, but there's also the demons that they also have that, when triggered, can also get in the way. And then you bring a bunch of people together who have so many different demons, then holy shit. And so you don't want to get caught up in those kind of wars inadvertently. And so you keep your circle small, if at all, so you can handle the wars that you don't even know you're in. Okay. So, and so with the whole Jessica Rabbit, this is telling you many things. This is telling you that many people are programming, and there are very specific types of programming, which results in something like Jessica Rabbit. Even though she's a cartoon, you see the effect it has on the male. And yes, this extreme programming, even though it's a cartoon, is what you see in our society, like I told you earlier. Now I understand why I have a Jewish name called Lila, demon of the night. Jilliith, Lilith, aliases, Lila, titles. Angel of the night, angel of conception, protector of children. Well, no wonder I was always hanging out with kids and nanny and all that, right? Lilith's bane, night angel, race angel, dominion, archangel, pantheon, Abrahamic, personified night, conception, pregnancy, childbirth. Jeez. Right? Dying and reproducing, right? Madonna, whore type of thing. Parents, godfather, Asherah, mother, siblings, angels, or other relationships. Mira, companion, Lilith, arch enemy. Huh, interesting. Sinoi, Sansanoi, Sema, angel, occupation. So she said Jilliith, Lilith, and then called me Layla. See, there right there was the conflict. Oh my God. Oh my God. So I'm saying, Cinderella, when you bestow a name on someone, that name holds so much freaking weight. So Jilliith, Lilith, she's like, I want to name you Jilliith too, but we're going to call you Lila. Layla is your Jewish name. So Lilith is the arch enemy. Layla is the good side. There's the good. That's spell casting. Oh my God, that's so crazy. Occupation, protecting children, delivering infants, equivalence, Nix, not, I don't know what that is. Affiliations, have an alignment, good. And then I said, happiness is holding someone in your arms and knowing you hold the whole world. That was actually a quote from somebody I knew from a long time ago on my Facebook. I don't even know what to say. But I figured it all out. I put all the pieces together. Because I know I'm not a bad person. I know I was never a fucking bad person. And I was acting out of programming that was so fucking insane that even everyone thought I was crazy. Everyone thought I was fucking crazy. So when you see crazy people in your world, whoever they are, they act out, do whatever, you can only imagine what was going on in their world, who is grooming them and why and how. You can only imagine. And that's why we're in a great reset, because we have so many parents out there who are grooming their children in a very specific way. And the outcome, well, you're seeing it out there. That's why we're in a great reset. That's why we're at home, not so much diversity and mixed company, because you have no idea when someone's demons will get triggered. You have no idea. And you don't want to be caught in the crossfire. You don't want to be caught in the crossfire. Oh my God. Holy shit. I just realized that. That was the plus and the minus. Layla, the good side. Lilith, the bad side. Your name is Jillian. Jillian was named after my grandfather, Jack and Jill. But the Jewish name, the Jewish conversion name, Lila, and then Lilith, Jilliith. Mom, you're fucking amazing. Holy shit. Thanks, Mom. I appreciate it. Bye.